Hello, today we are starting another week of Light to My Path, our 2025 Bible reading plan, and this week, I didn't plan it like this, but it couldn't really be any better. We are starting Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. Yesterday, Sunday, I preached a sermon that really described in full what stepping down means, what the series title is, to step down. It's to become like Christ. It's the opposite of going up in the world is going down in the world, and this was the core issue for the Corinthians. They loved themselves. They thought they were great. They were in love with their power and with their wealth and with their gifts and with their status, and they thought that they should be able to use all of those things for their own benefit, right? To advance themselves, to move up in the world. And Paul's letter to the Corinthians is basically to say that's the opposite of what it means to be a Jesus follower. That's the opposite direction we're meant to go. This is why it sort of the pinnacle of the letter, before the Resurrections chapter, the pinnacle of the letter in 1 Corinthians 13, it's all about love. It's the thing that matters. It's the thing that lasts. And it's the thing that they don't seem to grasp. Love is not loving yourself. It's loving others, giving yourself away, serving others. And the way that Paul talks about this in chapters 1 and 2, it's the way of the cross, the way of Jesus being crucified. It looks like utter foolishness in the world to society as a whole, to the people in Corinth who loved money and glitz, and they loved the power of the Roman Empire, and they loved the importance, the self-importance that they had. The emperor with his name on coins and on buildings and statues everywhere. That's what glory looks like. And Paul says that's the very opposite. Glory looks like Jesus being crucified. It looks like foolishness to the world, but for us, it is the power of God. It's God's real power on display, and it is the wisdom of God. It's not the wisdom of the world, it's the wisdom of God. And so in Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, you basically see this dynamic of stepping down, becoming like Christ in this self-giving, loving way. You see Paul work it out through the various conflicts and issues that they're dealing with in the church in Corinth. They were dealing with divisions. They were dealing with fights over which apostle was the one to follow and which was better and whatnot. Sexual immorality in the church. Talked about lawsuits amongst believers, what to do with marriage and, food, sacrifice to idols. It's basically this one dynamic of self-giving love, of stepping down, being worked out in these different issues and different contexts. It's a difficult letter because it is so, it's so specific almost to these issues in Corinth that it's difficult to get. But when we trace it through this dynamic of stepping down, I think it really starts to open up our eyes to what the letter's really about, and it's very, very, very practical letter. And so it's a little difficult to translate the Corinthian context into our 21st century context, but the principle of like foolishness to the world, of the way of the cross being the way, that is applicable. And so we have to do some translation to get from the first century context to our context today. But when we do that, the letter to the Corinthians, it is striking. It's bold, it's beautiful, it's really challenging. I want to encourage you to ask me any questions you have about it. This is a great week of reading. I also really want to encourage you to watch the Bible Project video on 1 Corinthians, because as you will hear me say again and again, it is fantastic. All right, have a great week of reading.